Hi, this is Edward Troxel. In this tutorial we're going to continue where we left off in the previous one, and last one we found where the talking areas were, and it gave us some extra regions that we want to get rid of in this tutorial. So this tutorial we'll work on getting rid of the extra regions that were created so that in the next tutorial we'll be able to actually find what I have been calling the red areas. So let's see how we can do that. Now we want to turn this routine on called Check Overlapped Regions. And let's see what Check Overlapped Regions actually does. Here is our Check Overlapped Regions routine. I've created me a found overlap Boolean variable which I've set to true. And then while I have found an overlap, I want to keep going through this loop over and over again until I get rid of all overlaps. So while this does have the potential of becoming an endless loop, we want to make sure that this isn't. And so we are setting found overlap to false each time at the very beginning, and then only setting it back to true if we did find one so that we can check to see if there's another one. So while found overlap, I'm going to go through my list of regions, and I'm just going to use the for loop and start with an integer variable called I equals 0, and while it is less than the regions.count, I'm going to increment it each time through the loop. So like I said, we're going to set found overlap to false first. Then I'm going to get my region equals the ith region. Then I'm going to get the region start is the myRegion.position, and the region end is the region position plus the region length. Then I'm going to go through a for each and compare that to each of the regions in the project. For each, and I'm going to go through the regions. I'm just calling it this region in myvegas.project.regions. If the myRegion.index is not equal to this region.index. Now here's what I'm checking. If I'm looking at the index that I'm looking at, if I'm looking at the region that I'm currently checking for, I know that region 1 is going to be under region 1. So I don't want to compare region 1 to region 1. So as long as the indexes are different, then I can compare them. So if it is a different region, then I get the this start equals this region.position, and this end equals this region.position plus this region.length. If the region start is greater than or equal to this start, and the region start is less than or equal to this region's end, then I know I found an overlap. So I put found overlap equal true. If this end is less than region end, then I'm going to move the end of the current region to be the new end. So this end.length will now equal the region end minus this region's start, because we have a new end for this one. This region ended before the current region ends, so we're going to make it the same, and then I'm going to remove my region. Otherwise, if it is an overlap, then I want to just remove my region because it's totally overlapped. Then down here, if I found an overlap, I'm going to break out of this for loop so that we start again. I want to go through all these regions every time until I find no more overlaps. So I'm going to start from scratch again each time. Because part of the reasons because I have removed a region. So here I want to start over. So as soon as I remove the region, I break out of this for each routine, I break out of this for each routine, and then if I found an overlap, because found overlap was true, then I'm going to break out of this for loop so that it will come back, and while found overlap is true, which it is now true, it's going to go through all the regions again. So it's going to keep doing that until it's finally gone through all the regions and did not find an overlap. So let's test this out and see how it works. If you remember, this one right here had an additional region right here. And so that region is now gone. It has removed region number 5 from being in the list. Let's look at another one. We looked at this one. Now we have regions 1, 3, 4, and 5. That's because region 2 was around this section right here, and region 2 has been removed. Here we ended up with 1, 3, and 4. Number 2 was actually around this one, and that has now been removed. Here we have 1, 2, and 3, and then our 4 is now expanding around all of these. So these are all under 1 now. Then 5 is around this one. Then we have 8, 9, and 10 at the end. So we have trimmed out the unneeded regions because they were overlapping. So now we have created regions around the areas where there's noise, and we have gotten rid of any unneeded regions so that we don't have to worry about processing regions that are extraneous. And in the next tutorial, we'll continue on and see if we can get these to work properly. And so subscribe, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Please sign up at www.jettv.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.